Okay, so we got the pretty much everything wired. Some of that going to the subwoofer isn't going to be too pretty, but it's going to be all hidden under the seats, so it won't matter. And now we tested it. You can probably hear a battery charger running in the background because I almost killed the battery while I was testing it. But it needs some pretty good tuning, but the sub works, all 4 speakers work. Got the amp adjusted for clipping, which is probably, I'm just going to back that down anyway, because then the sub will be able to get more power from the radio, from its inputs. But everything does work, and now it's time to reinstall the seat. So that's not too hard. Got it over here. I swear it looks like I spray painted something in this car at some point. I don't know how that happened. That stuff won't come off, but whatever. But it just has 6 bolts here and 2 in the back, and they go here, over there, 2 on this angle piece here, and then there's 1 there and 1 here. Not much to it, so we're going to set this up, try to throw this in before the battery dies, and get it bolted down. Any of my wires. All right, everything looks good, and now it's just as simple as putting all the bolts back in, and you have to flip the seat forwards, open them up, and you can get the 2 bolts in the back, and that's it. Well, got her all mounted. She's a ripper. I'm starting to get her tuned in. I don't own any non-copyright music that's worth listening to at excessive volume, so you don't need to hear it. But the next piece we got to put back in is this front cover piece, which goes obviously down in here. Still got a couple of wires I got to clean up. But that piece is held on by a couple of pop pins, and that broke because the plastic's 24 years old, the one that goes around that edge. But it's got a clip in here which goes into this slot. Not much to it. Gonna get it up there, give it a push, and then push the pop pin in. I'll probably put a zip tie over on that side to hold it. But there's that. The next thing that's going to go back after I clean up the dash is going to be the center console, which is a little more stoutly anchored than one would think. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Alright, I guess before we start the center console, we'll put a couple of the pieces of the side back together. This is the kick panel, and it's got a hook right here that hooks onto this. So you got to pull your weather strip up again, and then get that under the brake right there. Then you try the best to aim that thing till it grabs, and then you line it up and you're done. And then this piece clips in there. The other side is kind of similar, but instead of having a slot over here, you actually have a hook. Get that flashlight out of the way. I guess I should have finished vacuuming over here, but it goes in this. So similarly, pull up the weather strip, do your best to line, get that in there, line it up, done. Put the weather strip back. Now you're ready to start putting the rest of this back together. So the center console in this truck is honestly surprising to me. It's got two pieces, an inner and an outer. And this is the inner. You can see it's got some big holes in it and giant studs. So she just sits down like that. And then you've got come here. Those go in the back. Two different size threaded inserts, of course, because why would we make it the same size for it, huh? And then these go down in here. Oh, that's fascinating. And you tighten them down. And once you get all four of those, which happen to be 18mm down, tightened down, this one anyway has a mat which goes down on the inside to kind of act as a bottom for this thing. So that's the inner part of the center console. Alright, so the outside of the center console, which took a while to clean because that was awful, just drops over, and it's got 4 screws you need to line up somewhere. There it is. And these screws are either a Torx or about an 8mm. Two on the other side, and then that's mounted. Alright, and there are also, I missed them, 2 of the same screws that go down in here. And they are not 8mm as I had stated, they are actually 7, of course. Because, why not? But also have that Torx bit on them. And then the cup holder just pops in. The center console is complete. Now we can finish putting the side rails back on. And the driver's side is nothing terribly special. It helps if you pull your rubber molding out of the way. It's just got clips that line up, and then she goes in. Of course, if you turn it the right way, it helps too. There we go. So you can see this is going to clip over here. This piece here is going to clip into that. Same thing up here. We've got a clip that clips into here, and this pin holds the whole thing together. I'm trying to get that pin first. Maybe. There we go. And then we can see what's going on here. Okay. Patented. And we've got a little something going on here where it didn't clip into that quite properly, so probably pop that off and do that first, like that. then get her back in. A little excess rubber molding. Not quite sure why. But we'll figure that out. I don't remember taking this all the way off, but I might have. There we go. Yeah. Well, that one actually, the front one actually goes over the rubber molding, because of course it does. So I got to pop that back off, stick that under there, and we'll be in good shape. Let's see if I can. Yep, there we go. Done. So that side's finished. Let's go look at the passenger side. The front piece of the passenger side is very similar to the rear. Same setup to pin the slots. Same thing back here. It clips into this. But the rear needs to go on first. So let's try to snap that into the top first. Line it up. That's all good. I'm gonna give that a quick clean and then we'll install the front. All right. So similarly, now that I realize it, that's gonna go over like that. But we're going to snap this into here first. And then you can just walk it along, break the pin off. Kind of hard to see what you're doing here. Here it goes. And now that's done. Molding is still in. Molding is in. Still up all the way around because it completely fell off when I was redoing the back. And now we are down to reinstalling the seats, which is actually fairly straightforward if you have the right tool. So get to that next. All right. So in yet another example of because Ford, not only are these bolts an inch longer than they need to be, there's 3 different style fasteners holding this thing down. The 2 in the front are this thread, the one in the back is a larger thread in that corner, and then there's a nut. Now this is probably because it is a 97. Most of the ones I've seen in the junkyard actually have either 2 nuts in the back or all 4 of these. The beauty of these is they're non-standard, and we've talked about this before. You need a TP55, I believe. Yep, TP55 bit. It's a different shape than your normal Torx. But that's what you need to take the seats out of a Ford. So we're going to go grab the seat, throw it in here, and bolt her down. And that's pretty much all she wrote. Now you put your nut on, your big bolt in the back, your 2 little ones in the front, tighten them up, and this seat's done. Because I don't have a power seat on the passenger side. But the only thing I'll give Ford credit for on this is look at how they designed the bracket. Just enough so a regular size ratchet with that bit on it fits. So I guess there's that. And the driver's seat is basically similar, except if you have a power driver's seat, You got to remember to hook up your wires before you bolt it down, or you won't be able to get in there. So that's what we're going to do now. Alright, so that's how the interior goes in, or if you watch this video backwards, kind of like the records of the 70s, you'll see how it comes out. Not too bad. The worst things are those stupid little pop fasteners back here. If you don't know they're there, you can break a lot of stuff. But she's good. Pretty happy with the new stereo installation. I did learn that I'm an idiot. I thought my rear speakers were blown. Turns out I had a setting on the deck wrong, so they were not getting power. Go figure. But anyway, I digress. So, I really do appreciate everybody watching. Obviously, if you got questions, comments, concerns, please let me know in the comments. I try to get back as soon as I can. I'm usually online mostly every day. But I do appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate all the support y'all give the channel through the Amazon affiliate, and that link is in the description. So, Merry Christmas. Talk to y'all later.